Minnesota high school hockey is no joke. The state tournament gets more turnout than some NHL games. And you were with Eden Prairie when they won. You won multiple section coach of the years. What does it mean to kind of be so respected in the state of hockey?
You know, it's a unique, I mean, for people in Ohio, the best way to kind of explain it would be like how certain places value high school football in Ohio. I mean, it's a big deal in some of these places. And if you're the 5A or whatever the largest class champion in football in Ohio, you got a bunch of really good players. So there are players that go from, you know, I've had first round draft pick players on a high school team, second round draft pick players, third, you know, kids that are in the NHL. You know, that it's a big deal. It's like we said earlier, it's the state of hockey, and to be able to be a part of that. And I think the biggest thing there is that there's the distance or the connection between the NHL and high school hockey isn't that far. Like there's a lot of really good coaches in high school hockey. They just choose to be teachers and coach high school rather than pursue, you know, junior hockey or college hockey. And for me, being, you know, when people say, where are you from, I will always say I'm from Minnesota, and I'm proud of that. And to go from high school hockey to now a Division I head coach, I really appreciate that and the opportunity, and I know that in a way I'm kind of representing a bunch of those guys that I've coached with and against for a long time, and that matters to me, and that's why, you know, we want to try to do the best we can here in every facet of our program, and sometimes, you know, your question earlier about what's the challenge, you know, the challenge for me has been, you know, the winning and losing is important, right? And when you lose, you stare at the ceiling at night and you try to figure out why and all that kind of thing. And I think for me, the thing I'm trying to do better and get better at is to back up from the winning and losing and just focus on the day to day. And if you do things right on a daily basis, then more often than not you're going to have success. And we equate it to the way we talk to our kids about approaching their academics. If you're doing what you're supposed to do leading up to your test, then your test is going to go fine, right? But if you're not doing what you're supposed to do leading up to that test, you kind of sort of leave it to chance. And if you leave it to chance, then you can't be surprised if the outcome isn't what you want the outcome to be. But if you go into that test knowing that you did everything you can do to have success on the test, you feel good about going into the test. So for me, as the person, I don't like to refer to myself as the guy in charge, but there's only one head coach. So as the person who's kind of sort of in charge of this program, I have to make sure that what I'm doing on a daily basis and what we're doing on a daily basis is the right stuff. And we don't deviate from what we believe is the right stuff just because we had a bad week or we had a bad result. And so that's something that I know that we'll get better at, and I'll get better at individually, but something that I'm certainly aware of, because if you constantly worry about the winning and the losing, knowing that the winning and losing matters in college sports. They charge people admission and they pay people very good salaries and they have big budgets and all those kinds of things. We understand that. But it can't be your sole focus, because if you worry about that too much, you're going to forget about the other stuff that's equally as important.